Every year, billions of rough, hard-shelled coconuts fall from towering palm trees in tropical climates around the world. To the untrained eye, these hairy brown spheres look more like woody seeds than a source of rich hydration. Yet, hidden deep beneath that tough, unforgiving exterior lies one of nature's most versatile and sought-after culinary treasures. Few people ever realize the immense industrial effort required to transform these stubborn, woody fruits into smooth, pristine liquids. How exactly does a dirty, fibrous shell yield thousands of gallons of pure, blindingly white coconut milk daily? The journey from a raw, sun-baked tropical fruit to a perfectly sealed glass bottle is a masterclass in modern engineering. It requires brutal mechanical force, pinpoint precision, and massive stainless steel presses working together in perfect rhythmic harmony. Today, we step inside a massive state-of-the-art megafactory to witness the fascinating evolution of the ultimate tropical super ingredient. The incredible story of commercial coconut milk begins far away from the sterile environment of a modern manufacturing plant. It all starts in the lush, humid tropics of Southeast Asia, where vast green plantations stretch endlessly toward the horizon. Here, the coconut palm is highly revered, often referred to as the tree of life for its endless utility. The global market for coconut products has exploded in recent years, driven by a massive shift toward plant-based diets. To keep up with this booming global demand, commercial farms cultivate specific varieties optimized for their thick, fleshy meat. These trees require abundant rainfall, intense sunlight, and coastal soils rich in minerals to produce the perfect crop. Harvesting remains an incredibly labor-intensive process, relying heavily on traditional techniques that have been passed down through countless generations. Skilled workers use long bamboo poles with curved blades to bring the mature fruits down from dizzying heights. A single experienced farmer can drop up to 1,000 coconuts in a single day of grueling physical labor. Timing is absolutely critical. Coconuts must be perfectly mature to ensure the maximum yield of rich, fatty white meat. If harvested too early, the fruit contains mostly water. If harvested too late, the essential oils begin to rapidly degrade. Once gathered, these mountain-like piles of raw coconuts are ready to begin their long journey to the processing facility. Massive fleets of heavy-duty trucks arrive at the plantations, loading thousands of raw coconuts directly into their deep steel beds. These convoys transport the agricultural bounty across winding rural roads, racing against time to reach the factory floor. Freshness is paramount. The longer a coconut sits after harvest, the higher the risk of premature spoilage and cracking. At the factory gates, the trucks are weighed on massive industrial scales before dumping their cargo into deep receiving bunkers. Thousands of coconuts cascade down concrete chutes, creating a deafening rumble as they enter the primary storage yards. The sheer scale of operations is staggering, with some facilities processing over 500,000 individual coconuts every single day. Before any mechanical processing can begin, the incoming harvest must be strictly evaluated by strict intake quality control inspectors. Workers quickly scan the incoming piles, looking for visible cracks, mold, or signs of premature germination in the outer shells. The accepted fruits are then pushed onto wide, heavy-duty conveyor belts, beginning their slow ascent into the main facility. This continuous stream of raw material moves at a carefully calculated pace to prevent overwhelming the initial processing machinery. The factory air is thick with the earthy scent of raw husks, dirt, and the intense tropical humidity. The real challenge is about to begin, breaching the incredibly tough armor that protects the delicate white meat inside. First, the raw coconuts must be completely stripped of their fibrous outer husk, a highly stubborn and difficult protective layer. Specialized machines equipped with rotating steel spikes tear away the tough fibers, exposing the hard, familiar brown inner shell. What seems like waste is actually a valuable byproduct. The extracted fibers are baled and sold for industrial textiles. Now the naked brown coconuts proceed through a high-pressure washing tunnel to remove any lingering dirt, dust, and debris. This step is critical because any exterior contamination could easily ruin the entire batch of pure milk later on. Next comes the deshelling phase, traditionally considered one of the most difficult and dangerous steps in commercial coconut processing. Modern megafactories rely on automated cleavers and rotary saws that crack the hard shells with terrifying speed and incredible precision. The sharp blades slice perfectly through the equator of the nut, splitting it wide open to reveal the white interior. The coconut water trapped inside is immediately drained away through stainless steel grates, often collected for separate beverage lines. Workers armed with specialized curved blades then manually pry the pristine white hemispheres of meat from their wooden prisons. It requires incredible dexterity to extract the delicate flesh without breaking it or leaving dangerous fragments of the hard shell. Even a small piece of stray shell can severely damage the highly sensitive, delicate extraction equipment in the next production phase. The extracted white meat still has a thin, brown skin attached, which must be carefully shaved off by fast-peeling machines. Without this crucial peeling step, the final milk would have a grayish tint instead of a brilliant, appetizing white appearance. The fully cleaned, snow-white coconut meat is washed one final time in a bath of purified, sterilized, and chilled water. Now visually perfect, the pristine white chunks are propelled up a steep incline, fully ready for the main transformation process. This is where the true industrial magic happens. The solid chunks fall directly into the grinding jaws of massive industrial machines. Heavy-duty stainless steel teeth shred the firm coconut flesh into thousands of tiny, completely uniform pieces in a matter of seconds. The result is a massive mountain of fluffy, snowy coconut flakes, looking almost like fresh powder on a cold winter morning. Grinding is absolutely necessary to rupture the rigid cellular structure of the meat, releasing the trapped oils and natural moisture. From here, the shredded material enters the beating heart of the factory, a series of immense, high-pressure industrial screw presses. These horizontal steel cylinders apply crushing force to the coconut flakes, forcefully squeezing out every last drop of valuable liquid. The mechanical pressure is staggering, forcing the liquid out through fine microscopic mesh screens while tightly holding back the solids. Thick, blindingly white coconut milk begins to pour like a heavy waterfall from the extraction vents of the massive presses. At this stage, the raw liquid is incredibly rich, boasting a high natural fat content that can easily exceed 30%. The remaining dry coconut pulp, now completely stripped of its moisture, is forcefully ejected from the tail end of the press. This dry material will be finely milled into coconut flour, ensuring absolutely nothing from the original harvest is ever wasted. Meanwhile, the raw, freshly extracted milk is quickly pumped into enormous holding tanks, where it awaits thermal processing and standardization. Because raw coconut milk naturally separates into cream and water, it must be thoroughly homogenized to ensure a perfectly smooth texture. Powerful industrial mixers agitate the liquid at incredibly high speeds, violently forcing the fat molecules to break down and permanently blend. To guarantee total food safety, the newly homogenized milk is then pushed through a rigorous ultra-high temperature pasteurization system. The thick liquid is flash heated to roughly 140 degrees Celsius for just a few very critical seconds. This extreme burst of heat instantly destroys any harmful bacteria or potential spores without cooking the milk or altering its flavor. It is then rapidly cooled down inside a massive network of chilled pipes, locking in that fresh, authentic, and tropical taste. Throughout this journey, the entire pipeline system is sealed, completely isolating the pure milk from any outside airborne industrial contaminants. In some factories, natural stabilizers are precisely injected into the stream to keep the rich cream perfectly suspended during transport. The internal flow rate is continuously monitored by automated flow meters, processing thousands of liters of thick milk every single hour. The once hard, dirty, and fibrous fruit has been entirely reduced to a flawless, uniform liquid, ready for the final stages. At this point, the air in the vast processing hall is heavily filled with the sweet, creamy aroma of fresh coconut. Massive stainless steel vats act as the final staging ground before the pristine white milk is safely sent to the packaging lines. A complex network of sanitary valves redirects the flowing white liquid toward the ultra-clean automated bottling and canning production lines. The transformation from raw agricultural product to highly refined culinary ingredient is now fully complete, but the manufacturing journey continues forward. The packaging phase takes place in a highly controlled, sterile environment to absolutely prevent any late-stage contamination of the finished product. Thousands of empty glass bottles clink together as they march in single file along high-speed automated conveyor belts. Before filling, each bottle is automatically inverted and blasted with a powerful jet of sterilized air and steam to ensure cleanliness. The bottles arrive at the rotary filling carousel, an incredibly impressive piece of precision engineering spinning rapidly at the line's center. Robotic filling nozzles descend deep into the narrow glass necks, injecting precisely measured volumes of thick, heavy white coconut milk. The mechanical speed is dizzying. A modern filler can effortlessly process up to 600 individual bottles in a single minute. The bright white liquid fills the glass perfectly, stopping just millimeters below the threaded rim without a single wasted drop. Immediately after filling, the bottles slide under the capping machine, where metal lids are securely pressed and tightly screwed into place. A strong vacuum seal is formed inside the bottle, completely locking out oxygen and ensuring a long, stable shelf life for consumers. For major institutional buyers, the milk is also pumped into massive aseptic foil bags capable of safely holding hundreds of gallons. But for the premium retail market, the glass bottles provide an elegant vessel that brilliantly showcases the blindingly white contents inside. The newly sealed bottles are then safely conveyed through a long cooling tunnel, gently lowering their temperature to prevent any internal condensation. Quality control in this mega factory is absolutely relentless. Every single batch is highly scrutinized before it is allowed to leave the building. Inline optical sensors rapidly scan every passing bottle, checking for exact fill levels, proper cap alignment, and totally secure vacuum seals. If a bottle is found to be underfilled by even a fraction of an ounce, an automated pneumatic arm forcefully rejects it. Meanwhile, highly trained technicians in the pristine on-site laboratory draw random samples from the production line for rigorous chemical and sensory testing. They test the milk's specific viscosity, checking if the thick, creamy texture matches the exact demanding specifications required by top chefs. Precise digital instruments carefully measure the fat content, ensuring the liquid strikes the absolute perfect balance between richness and smooth pourability. The blindingly white color is thoroughly verified against a strict color spectrum. Any slight hint of gray or yellow is immediately flagged. Microbiological tests guarantee that the ultra-high temperature pasteurization successfully eliminated all potential pathogens from the rich, highly nutrient-dense liquid. Expert taste testers are also employed, frequently sipping the fresh milk to guarantee it always delivers that authentic, sweet, and nutty flavor profile. Advanced X-ray machines and highly sensitive metal detectors provide one final security check, scanning the sealed bottles for any microscopic foreign materials. This obsessive, unyielding attention to detail guarantees that the milk remains perfectly safe, delicious, and consistent, regardless of the seasonal harvest conditions. Only after passing this demanding gauntlet of high-tech inspections are the glass bottles finally approved for final labeling and massive global distribution. The officially approved bottles glide into the labeling station, where high-speed automated rollers wrap vibrant, waterproof labels tightly around the curved glass. Industrial inkjet printers quickly blast the necessary expiration dates, tracking batch codes, and detailed nutritional information directly onto the side of the caps. The individual bottles are then rapidly corralled by robotic arms and seamlessly grouped together into totally secure, heavy-duty cardboard trays of 12. A heavy layer of strong industrial shrink wrap is draped over the trays and instantly melted tightly within a massive heat tunnel. Massive robotic palletizers lift these heavy, finished cases with effortless mechanical precision, stacking them tightly onto sturdy wooden shipping pallets for transport. Automated guided vehicles, operating completely without human drivers, silently transport the towering pallets deep into the sprawling, climate-controlled warehouse storage facility. From here, the finished coconut milk is quickly loaded onto heavy freight trucks and massive cargo ships bound for busy international ports. These bottles will travel many thousands of miles, crossing massive oceans to safely supply gourmet restaurants, busy cafes, and neighborhood grocery stores. The vast logistical network required to successfully move this heavy liquid globally is just as incredibly complex as the industrial extraction process itself. What roughly began as a massive pile of dirty, hard nuts in a humid tropical forest is now a highly refined, premium culinary staple. The total transformation of the humble coconut is a brilliant testament to the sheer ingenuity and extreme efficiency of modern industrial food production. By combining traditional agricultural wisdom with cutting-edge mechanical engineering, factories can easily feed a rapidly growing global demand for healthy plant-based alternatives. Every single ounce of the raw material is perfectly utilized, ultimately turning tough discarded shells into fuel and firm white flesh into liquid gold.